Hi, Peter Charles here, Hooked Fly Fly Fishing, and today let's look at doing the Mickey fin in a tube fly version. Now, the Mickey fin is a pretty simple fly. There's not an awful lot to it, and there's not too many changes that we have to do for the tube version, except be careful of the orientation of our materials. So let's take a look at what we're going to be using. I have a 1.5 inch 3/32 aluminum tube in the vise. My thread is black Viva 6/0. My rib is Uni French oval in a medium silver. The body is Uni Mylar in a gold silver size 10. And the wing is going to be red and yellow blacktail. So let's get started. I'll put on the thread. First we tie in the rib. And then the mylar. Now at this stage you can do one of two things. You can make the body relatively neat, which means the mylar will go on relatively smoothly, or you can make the body quite lumpy, deliberately lumpy, and that creates facets in the mylar that will sparkle. I'm going to do this one fairly neat. I'm not going to get obsessive about it, but it's going to be relatively neat. Okay, now to wind on the body. Keep the mylar in touching turns. You don't want black showing through. Now, I'm just going to put some hackle pliers on the end of it to start to slip through my fingers, which I don't want to have happen. I got a little bit of black showing there, back up. That was close, I almost ran out of material. Now, when you are, this is a particular problem with more with tube flies I find than with hook flies, is that when you are finishing off your mylar or other kinds of material, that last turn can lift and move on you. So I am being very careful that it stays flat so I don't get that last turn or two turns suddenly sort of bumping up on me. And I'll just finish this off here. I don't mind having a relatively large head for these flies because it helps to move the material, move the wing. So if the head ends up being large, I know some people like tiny heads, but if you've seen some of my videos in the past, you know I'm not one of them. And now for the rib. Just keeping that tag on top. Let's clean up this head before we put the wing on. Okay, bring your thread to the back. First we're going to put on some yellow, then red, then yellow, and just a little bit each time. I mean, yeah, you could make this really bulky fly. I really don't like it to be too bulky. So I take a sparse amount of bucktail, clean off the short bits. Now I'll size it, and I usually pick a point on my vise that I'll figure is about where the hook point's going to be, and that's where I'll line up the wing, because we want the wing and the hook point to be relatively close. Especially if you're fishing for steelhead, you'll get a lot of tail nippers, and it's very annoying when you miss fish. Okay, use a pull pinch loop and pull up, and check to make sure everything's on top. Work your thread back. The last wrap should be relatively loose. There we go. Now for the red. Size it. And I'm not going to make it stop at exactly the same point. I brought my yellow right to the end. I'm going to bring my red a little bit further back. Pinch loop it. Check to make sure it's on top, and there's an equal amount of yellow on either side. That looks pretty good. You want a certain amount of yellow showing. Bring your thread again to the back. Now for the last bit of yellow. Pinch loop it. I'm going to check to make sure this red's showing. It's a little bit uneven, so I'll just move it a little bit. And whip finish. UV glue. Now for some top coat. There we go, our Mickey fin. Now, a couple of things about how I've tied this. You'll notice that the yellow and red sort of blend together a little bit. I do that deliberately. I don't go for this perfect delineation. I like a little bit of a blending. You can do it differently. You can make a very, very sharp distinction. And one way to do that is you put a loop of thread in between each layer. So you end up with a very sharp distinction between them as you're basically creating a loop of thread around each bunch of bucktail. I also don't stack. I prefer that ragged end. Again, better movement. If you want to, though, go ahead and stack them. But there you go. There's the Mickey fin tube version. It'll fish quite well. You can make it bulkier if you wanted to. I tend to go towards sparse. I prefer it like this, but it's your choice. If you want to go bulky, go right ahead. So, there you go, the Mickey fin tube version. Cheers.